This Golf 6R needs a lot of work, and today is the day that I finally decided to work on it. My name is Cee-Jay. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where I guess the plan is to work on cars, starting with this Golf 6R that needs a lot of TLC. But before we continue, let's take it back for a second. All the way back to 1974 in Wolfsburg, Germany, the home of VW, where the Golf was born. This was a massive year for Germany. Not only did they win the FIFA World Cup, but this was also the year that VW introduced the OG Golf Mark I. The VW Golf is an iconic model and has become one of the best-selling cars in the world, known for its versatility and performance models like the Golf GTI and Golf R. The Golf 6R was in production from 2009 till 2013, powered by a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, which produced 260 horsepower and 330 Nm of torque. It did 0 to 100 in 5.9 seconds. Equipped with VW's 4Motion all-wheel drive system, as well as unique styling, which set it apart from standard Golf models. Something else worth mentioning is that the Golf 6R completed a lap of the Nürburgring in 8 minutes, a very impressive lap time for a compact hatchback. At this point, you're probably wondering, what does all of this have to do with my Golf 6R? Well, for starters, my car looks nothing like what it did when it left the factory. And not because it's been modified. So in my case, that's not a good thing. So here's a list of all the issues with this car. Firstly, there are a few missing pieces, like the rear diffuser and reflector. The petrol cap is technically not missing. I have it, it's just not where it should be. Something else that's not where it should be is the headliner. And then there's the paint, which gives me actual anxiety, like real anxiety and depression. So there's all of these issues without even mentioning the major fueling issue that this car has. When I get to about 4,000 revs, mid revs, the car seems to like pull back and there's like a fuel cut. So I haven't really been able to drive this car. I've tried to fix it. I've tried to change the fuel filter. I also removed the high pressure fuel pump and have a look at the cam follower to see if that was damaged. Then I decided to run diagnostics on the car and I picked up 2 codes. Both of those codes related to the low pressure fuel pump, which is in the tank. So we are going to change the low pressure fuel pump, which is in the petrol tank. And to do that, we have to remove the back seat. But sure, that's the plan. But before we can do any of that, before we can even change the fuel filter, before we can start working on this car, we need to give it a wash. And yes, I did this the old school way, with a hose and a bucket of soapy water. But now that the car is clean, you can really see just how bad this paint is. But we'll get to that at a later stage of the video. Right now, we need to change the low pressure fuel pump. So now we've got the car back in the garage. It's time to fit the fuel pump. This is what the new fuel pump looks like. To install this new pump, firstly, I needed to remove the back seat, which is held down by these 4 clips. To remove these clips, I pull the clip up from behind and then towards myself. This is what the clip looks like once removed. Next, I pull the seat up at this point on both sides. And to free the seat, I push the seat in on the corner, then pulled up. Now, all I needed to do was get the seatbelt buckle through the seat. With the seat out, I could now get to the cap covering the fuel pump, which is on the right-hand side of the car. Where the next thing I did was remove the switch. Next, I needed to bleed the pressure in the fuel lines. And I did this by starting my car and letting it run until it cut out, like so. Then I removed the fuel lines, then this ring, using a flathead and a hammer. And lastly, a line inside the tank connecting the fuel pump to the fuel transfer unit. And the old pump was out. Then the new pump was in. I connected the fuel lines inside the tank, hammered the ring back in place, then reconnected the fuel lines and then the switch. Okay, so I've just fitted the new fuel pump. It's time to start the car and see if it'll start firstly, and then we're going to take it for a test drive, and I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, that this solves the problem. Let's go. Guys, I hope this works. I really hope this works. Let's go. Good, very good. Okay, so far so good. Very good, I'm happy. It was at this point that I was convinced that the fueling problem with this car was solved. But it didn't take me too long to realize that the fueling problem from Hull had returned. So that didn't work out as planned. After driving the car for about 5 minutes, I realized that the fuel pump was not the issue. I was really excited, I was really happy because I thought it was fixed. I'll probably end up trying to change the fuel pressure sensor next. Hopefully that works. But we basically back at square one, and then if that doesn't work, I think what it comes down to is possibly a bad tune. But yeah, we need to move on. When life pushes you, you need to push back. The goal for today is to polish the car. We're going to do some detailing. We need to sort out this paintwork. So yeah, let's pull it into the garage and let's get to work. These are all the products that I'll be using today. As you can see, I picked up a bunch of microfiber towels and microfiber pads. I've got an instant detailer and a clay bar. Then I've also got Maguire's Ultimate Compound, which is really the star of today's show. I've got some turtle wax, a heavy duty cleaner for the wheels, and some tire gloss. I laid down a line of masking tape to see the difference between the before and after. First up, I grabbed the instant detailer and clay bar. I wiped down the surface with a microfiber towel, then sprayed the instant detailer down to act as a lubricant for the clay bar. Using a microfiber pad and Maguire's Ultimate Compound, I went to work. Okay, so I finished half of the bonnet. It looks a lot better, but it's still not perfect. We have one more thing left to do. We're going to put wax on. We'll let it set for about 2 minutes and then we'll wipe the wax off.
A few moments later.
So now I can finally show you the before and after. To be honest, I think it looks much better. It's not perfect, but it looks better. And just like that, my Mark 6R looks like a completely different car, just off the one video. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did and you want to see more content just like this and you want to keep up to date with the Mark 6R build, then subscribe to my channel. If you enjoyed the video, you liked it, leave the thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next one.